Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Krishna Prabhuji.
Who spoke that?
This is Suresh and Padma.
Suresh Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Ravindra Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Can we begin?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam. Kundan Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So I was kind of thinking a lot of thought process on what can we do. One option that I thought was something on Dham. Another option I thought was Ram Navami is coming. And another option I thought was there was one session remaining on chanting. So I thought that maybe let us finish that one session. I looked at the presentation. There are some important points still pending from where we left. And with that one session, we will finish that previous. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
So,
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So maybe I was thinking that there is one session remaining on our previous discussion. With that, we can finish that session today, and maybe at the end we can discuss on what you would like to hear, what desires you have, and based on that we can start from next week. Okay. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखम करोति वाचालम अंगुम लंघयते गिरिम यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. Okay, so we discussed three stages of chanting. One was Namaprad, one is Namabhas, and one is Shuddhanam. There is not much to discuss on Shuddhanam because once Namaprad is covered is compared to when we are committing the offenses. Knowingly also we are committing the offenses. And uh, we discussed the 10 offenses in detail, like blaspheming the devotees who have dedicated their lives to propagate the holy names of the Lord, consider name of demigod like Lord Shiva or Brahma to be equal to an independent name of Lord Vishnu, to disobey the order of spiritual master. So like that we discuss in detail the 10 offenses. Namabhas is now we are sincere. Now we really want to make progress. We are chanting, we know the offenses, we are trying to avoid the offenses, but we are still conditioned. We still have anarthas, and even though we desire, we are not able to go past it. So abhas means to practice. So nam abhas means now I'm really trying to chant the holy name sincerely. Nam aparadh is I don't care. Even if I'm committing offenses, that's what I want to do. I don't care. This is my life. So that is nam aparadh. Knowingly we are committing offenses. Nam abhas means I know this is wrong, but I'm helpless. But I'm helpless. I know I should not have material desires, but I'm helpless. Let me try my best. So this is nam abhas. So most of the devotees lie who are chanting for some time. They come in the stage of nam abhas. Now they are little more sincere. Example of Namabhas, a small fraction of light, a small fraction. Abhas means also that we start getting a glimpse now. We start getting a glimpse of spiritual reality. We start getting a realization that actually I am part and parcel of Krishna. A glimpse is coming. Actually, I have a relationship. Actually, I really want to reawaken now. I really want to get serious now. I can see little bit here and there. So I don't see myself. I don't know who I am. I don't know what really is my relationship with Krishna, but I'm getting a glimpse. Everything is starting to make sense. So that's like a small fraction of light is coming. Nam aparad is like complete cloud. So we don't see anything. We don't see if Krishna is there or not. Maybe he is there, maybe he's not there. What am I doing? Why am I doing? Well, devotees are nice people, so let me associate. It will help me. So those are nam aparad, where we don't see anything, but that's the beginning stage. Nam abhas, now I'm starting to get a glimpse of it. When the sun of the holy name is covered by the cloud of ignorance and anarthas, only some or no spiritual ecstasy comes while chanting. So, Nam Abhas, you get some spiritual ecstasy somewhere. You get a glimpse. You become more dedicated. Once we come to the stage of Nam Abhas, the progress is more faster, but still we are really not able to chant the holy name of Krishna because of the anarthas in our heart. And now we will discuss those anarthas. Uh, those anarthas, the cloud of anarthas and ignorance, that stop us from Shuddhanam. Shuddhanam is pure chanting. One pure chanting can give us love of Godhead. Shuddhanam is fully potent. We have heard the glories of Shuddhanam. I mean, Ajamil. Ajamil the name he chanted was actually not Shuddhanam. It was actually Namabhas. So Namabhas itself has lot of benefits, and we will see that today. First, we will see the anarthas. Now, artha means value, artha, and the prefix an means without. Thus, anartha means that which has no values. These anarthas, we will see them in detail. What are those anarthas? Uh, these anarthas, we don't want them, but we see them in our heart. We are working on them, but at times we fail. Um, we feel helpless, we feel humbled, we take shelter of Krishna, and we continuously chant. And we wait. Now, um, um, the process of chanting the holy name is all pure. So, if we are chanting the holy name, rest assured you will go back to Godhead in this life if you are sincere. Guaranteed you will become fully pure hearted. Because if you are chanting the holy name, you should know it's a flight ticket back home, back to Godhead. Nobody can stop you. Um, no matter how many desires or how deeply entrenched we are in this material world, don't underestimate the power of the holy name. The holy name will pull you out from any situation we are in. This holy name is what purifies us. By by the knowledge, by hearing, we are not going to, or by trying to overcome the anarthas, we will not be able to overcome the anarthas. Well, we may take shelter of Krishna. Knowledge helps. We may try not to act on it, but what really purifies is the holy name. This holy name, chanting of the holy name itself will help us to cross all the stages from Nam Aparat to Nam Abhas to Shuddha Nam. This holy name is what purifies us. But here, an understanding, a detailed understanding also helps. So, Anatha means that which has no value. Material assets yield no benefit at all for the living entity. I mean, we know that material assets, in a way, make us keep working hard in this material world, but at the end of the life, they're all left here only, and the soul moves on after death. So they really yield no benefit at all for the living entity. So that's why we will see Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami says over endeavor is not necessary. That is a kind of anartha. But as soon as he becomes influenced by the external energy, he unfortunately considers the different anarthas as valuable and becomes fully entangled by them. The person who has anarthas, and we will see the next slide what anarthas are. The person who has anarthas, he values that which is of no value from the eternal perspective. He values that, and he runs after that, and he becomes fully entangled in those things. Um, um, Nonetheless, independent of how deeply engrossed we are in this material world, if we are steady in our chanting, like I know all of you are chanting 1 round, 2 round, 4 round, 8 round, 16 round. Um, if you remain fixed in those numbers, that will make you surpass all the stages. Now there are 4 types of anarthas. Um, the first anartha is called Hriday Durbalyam. Hriday Durbalyam. Defects of the heart. Hriday Durbalyam. Uh, Attachment to objects which have no relationship with Krishna. This is one aspect of Hriday Durbalyam. When we want things which are not conducive for our Krishna consciousness. Um, that is really Durbalyam. Then the propensity to cheat and find faults. Finding fault is also comes under Hriday Durbalyam. Finding fault. Why we find fault? because of ahankar, because um, we want to be um, we want to feel that I'm better than others. I want to feel that I'm better than others. If I see somebody else who is more advanced than me, then I become insecure. So I will find fault in them, and somehow, if I feel, if by finding fault in them, I will come to the conclusion that actually I'm better than him also, or I'm better than her also, and that gives me a secure feeling. So that's the reason we find fault in others, is because of ahankar. um, uh, um, then there is envy. um, these are all interrelated, they all come under hriday durbalyam. Envy means um, I hate others success. I hate others success. I become depressed seeing others are doing so well. That is envy. There is spiritual envy and material envy, both. So this also comes under Hridaya Durvalya. Now these diseases are there in us, and I myself is going through all these emotions in my own life, and for this reason, because of these anarthas that are there in our heart, we are not able to experience what we want to experience in our chanting. We want to experience what pure devotees experience, but then we still have these Hriday Durbalya. Hriday Durbalya means weak heart. Weak heart. Although I know these are wrong things, Durbalya means weak. So although I know these things are wrong, I'm unable to avoid them. I don't want them, but I'm unable to avoid them. So that's why it's called Durbalya, defects of the heart. And then the desire for recognition. Um, if I do something, I want to be recognized. Um, um, but if I do something and others don't recognize me, if I'm not glorified by what I did, um, then I don't want to do that again. I um, I'm not encouraged. I'm not. I want to avoid that. I want to avoid those activities where I'm not recognized. So the principle, more than seva, more than seva, is more than pleasing Krishna, is okay. I will do it to please Krishna, but Krishna should glorify me, and then I want to do it. But if I am not glorified, then I'm hurt, and then I may even complain to Krishna, why did you not respect me through others? So desire for recognition. So these are called Hriday Durbalya. Hriday Durbalya. A pure devotee is very free in a way. He does everything to please Krishna, and he does not find fault in anyone. He sees everybody else as superior to him spiritually. um, he is very happy seeing others progressing, and because he sees that if somebody is progressing, then they are giving pleasure to Krishna. Naturally, progress means that person has given pleasure to Krishna. Krishna's pleasure is the center. So if I please Krishna, then I will become more absorbed in my sadhana. It all depends upon pleasing Krishna. So a pure devotee who does not have Hriday Durbalyam, when he sees somebody else is very absorbed in hearing chanting and spiritual progress, he becomes very happy because he sees that, well, this person gave some pleasure to Krishna. So Krishna is happy. Krishna is happy. So the thought that Krishna is happy gives him pleasure, or that other person is doing so much service. uh, so this person thinks, wow, this person becomes very happy that Krishna's names are spread so much. Krishna is so happy, it is giving so much pleasure to Krishna. So it's all about consciousness. So Krishna is in the center. For a pure devotee, Krishna is in the center. For a devotee who has anarthas, the devotee is in the center. Okay, I will do this service, but will I be recognized? Will Krishna give me some recognition? somebody is doing better, then I'm in the center. Somebody is doing better, then how can he do better than me? So now I will envy him. I don't like this person. Why? Because I feel insecure, because he is doing better than me. So I am in the center. It's not about whether Krishna is pleased. It's not about Krishna is not in the center. I am in the center. I am in the center. How does it help me? Does it give me recognition? Does it make me feel that I'm better than others? If not, I envy them. And if somebody is doing better, how can there be somebody better than me? So I will find fault in them. And um, I have some secret attachments which nobody knows, and I want some pleasure from some other areas unrelated to Krishna. So these are all Hriday Durbalyam, because these things exist in us. I mean, um, by speaking, I can see each and every element present in me myself. But till we come out of this platform, Shuddha Nam is not going to come. If somebody wants, I want to chant, I will chant only if I'm fully absorbed. Otherwise, I don't want to chant. Then that stage will never come. That stage will never come. We have to purify ourselves first from all this Hriday Durbalyam, which keeps me in the center. We have to purify ourselves from all these anarthas, then only absorption will come. That's why there is Vidhi Marg and there is Rag Marg. Vidhi Marg means this is the right thing to do, so let me do it. If somebody knows it's the right thing to do, I want to do, but as soon as I want to do, I want to be fully absorbed in Krishna. Well, that's an overestimation. It will come, but first we have to work on it. Otherwise, what is the difference between those who are practicing for so many years and struggling to purify themselves and a person who is just beginning? What is the difference? Where is the difference? The difference lies in purity. That's all. Every devotee is working 6 8 hours. He's chanting for 2 hours. He's taking care of his family. Just number of years are different. Someone is practicing 20 years, someone 5 years, someone 1 year. Where is the difference? The difference lies here, the consciousness. The consciousness. And to the extent our consciousness is pure, to that extent we will absorb ourselves. And that's why it's a path. It's a process. At the same time, Krishna will give us sufficient experience here and there. Once in a while, we please Vaishnavas. Sometimes we chant in association of devotees. Sometimes we do some service that Krishna is pleased with. And once in a while, we will get some experience. So intelligent devotees, what they do is they try to do a lot of service. They try to please Krishna somehow or other. And although they have anarthas, they start sneaking spiritual happiness by their service and by pleasing devotees. But eventually, the real treasure, something that we own, that anytime I chant, any moment I'm fully absorbed and I'm into bhava, that will come only with the purification of heart. So this is one of the main anartha, hridaya durbalyam. Now, these four anarthas, we will discuss the four type of anartha. These four anarthas give rise to lust, anger, envy, greed, pride. So they are just the side effects of these anarthas. And these anartha, the most difficult one is hridaya durbalyam, which is basically I am in the center. And all these things are different ways to express that I am the enjoyer. I am the enjoyer. More than giving pleasure to Krishna, what matters to me in my Krishna consciousness is, am I happy? Am I happy? Then I will do it. If I am not happy, then I will not be enthusiastic. So I am in the center. That anartha we cannot overcome by ourselves. It's very deep rooted. It's very deep rooted. Um, um, my senior Yugal Kishore Prabhu, he says, um, I think America or somebody declared this nation as I and me generation, means I am the center. Okay. Then the second anartha is aparad, offenses. And this is the second anartha. There are offenses against the holy name, which we discussed the 10 offenses. There are offenses against the form of the Lord, which is also called seva aparad, where deity worship, committing offenses during the seva. And then there are offenses against the devotees of the Lord, which is given a separate category, although offenses against the devotee of the Lord is the first offense against in the holy name, but it is also recognized as a separate category of offense, just to emphasize how important it is. So there is nam aparad, there is seva aparad, there is vaishnava aparad. So vaishnava aparad is towards devotees, seva aparad is toward the deities, nam aparad is toward the holy name. Although vaishnava aparad is also part of nam aparad, but a separate category. And then offenses against other living entities, like violence and envy. Like we go into the argument, debate, or somebody's progressing materially, have a nice car or a nice home or a nice position, um, or doing better or getting more recognition by our seniors in the office, and then we become envious. And sometime, um, we may also exhibit some violence because I don't like that. So these are offenses against other living entities. They all obstruct our devotion. This is the second kind of anartha, which is aparad. So first is hriday durbalya. We saw envy, fault finding, um, attachment attachment to objects unrelated to Krishna. And then there is aparad, and the four kind of offenses. Basically, um, recently there was a seminar by my spiritual master, and he was mentioning the secret of advancement in devotion is if you have a loving relationship with everybody around you. If you have a happy relationship, everybody around you, a positive relationship, then it is much easier to chant. At some point of time, we may want to come to the stage where, even though anathas remain in my heart, my actions and my behavior should be in such a way that I don't offend anyone, at least. So that really helps to grow. uh, then the third is Asatrishna. Asat means
Prabhu,
temporary.
I have a question.
Yes.
So regarding second point, what are the different types of offenses against the form of the Lord?
Yeah,
Examples.
yeah, these are seva aparad, Prabhuji, like serving the deities without taking bath. This is one example. Or entering the temple hall with slippers, or showing our feet to the Lord. So these are all offenses against the form. Like sometimes we sit showing our feet facing the Lord. So improper sitting posture. So there are, when we go to Nectar of Devotion, we will go to that book in a short while. Nectar of Devotion describe in detail around 70 seva parats, Prabhuji, and we will discuss them. Is that all
Okay,
right,
Prabhuji.
Tushar?
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. Okay. And then there is Asat Trishna. Asat means, Sat means something of permanent value. Asat means something of temporary value. So thirst or desires for material objects. This thirst is not going to go away by our own. We may be practicing Krishna consciousness, chanting the holy names, associating with devotees, offering food to Krishna, but the desire for material objects will remain. Those desire for material objects, that how can we come out of it? When will we come out of it? Well, it takes time. It takes time. uh, um, to slowly, as you are very sincere in practicing the principles of Krishna consciousness, trying to spread the message of Krishna, trying to serve Krishna, participating in different festivals, and extending yourself to become more and more serious in Krishna consciousness. As you are doing that, um, attachment to Krishna will increase. Krishna will become attractive. One time, I asked one devotee, "How do I know if I'm making progress?" And he said, if you make progress, desire to hear about Krishna will increase. You will become very inquisitive. That, oh, I want to hear about Krishna. I want to hear more about Krishna. And when you hear about Krishna, you feel very satisfied. That's a sign we are progressing. um, we are progressing. So when we come to the stage that our attraction to Krishna increases and further increases, and we focus only on our attraction to Krishna. See, Prabhuji and Mataji, it's a, honestly speaking, it's a long process. At the same time, it's a short process. Why short process? In this life, you can attain perfection. So Srila Prabhupada said, you have millions of lifetimes. Give one lifetime to Krishna. Millions of lifetimes. Every lifetime we have all these material comforts. So in one lifetime, we can attain Krishna. We can become purified. In this way, it is short. But if you see within the life, it is long. It takes time. It takes time. But if we are sincere, slowly, the same process of sadhana bhakti, associating ABCD, associating reading scriptures, chanting the holy names, offering food to Krishna. As attraction to Krishna will deepen, these desire for material objects will go away. You will not even realize. You don't even have to work on it. You look back and you will see, oh, they are going away now. So this Anatha is called Asatrishna. This also check our progress, our spiritual progress. Desire for delightful sense objects. It's actually, the more we advance, the more we realize, the more our anarthas are revealed to us, the more we advance, and the more we start seeing, okay, what next step I have to take. Paramatma guides us. In the beginning, we may be dealing with gross anarthas, and then slowly, we start dealing with subtle anarthas in our heart. Um, so, Asatrishna is desire for delightful sense object, desire for sense enjoyment as available on heavenly planets. So some people may want to go to heaven. Why? There are apsaras there. There is lot of dancing. There is what else is there? There is somras, intoxicating beverages, and very long life. No, almost like not much disease and lot of enjoyment. So someone may desire that, oh, I want to go and enjoy in heavenly planets. So there are four words. It's called bhak, bhukti sid, bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakale asami. So bhukti mukti siddhi kami, these are the four desires for material object. Bhukti means trying to enjoy some form of sense gratification. That is bhukti. Through the tongue, through the eyes, to the sense of touch, through ears, through nose, some kind of I want to enjoy. This is called bhukti. Then there is mukti. Mukti means I want to become liberated. But why? I don't want to please Krishna. I don't want to serve Krishna. But I want to become liberated because this material world is a suffering. So I want to become liberated. So there also the desire for mukti is arising because I want to be, I am the enjoyer. That's why mukti is unfavorable for Krishna consciousness. Of course, if we practice Krishna consciousness, we will become liberated naturally. In fact, anyone who is on the stage of Namabhasa is already considered liberated. But desiring for liberation, independent for the desire to please Krishna, out of frustration, is still centered around I want to be happy. I'm miserable here, so I don't like this place. So many people are criticizing me, and etc. etc. So I want to become liberated. I want to go to Krishna. Why? Because I am not happy in this material world. People are giving me suffering. But the purpose to go, or liberation, purpose of liberation is not for the pleasure of Krishna, but for my own pleasure. So this becomes mukti. So bhukti, mukti, siddhi. Siddhi means I want some mystical powers. Mystical powers, like there are 8 kind of mystical siddhis. Like some people can walk on the water, some people can we are not aspiring for those, but there are yogis who want to levitate and fly in the air. These are possibles. You can even create your own planet. You can create gold from ashes. From your hairs you can create fire. So these are all siddhis. Some people want to acquire these siddhis to show off and to acquire some recognition. So that is another way that again I am the enjoyer. The principle of everything is I am the enjoyer. So this is called siddhi. And kami is uh, heavenly pleasures. So these are called Asatrishna. Desire for delightful sense object, I want to enjoy. I want to go to heavenly planets and I want to enjoy there. I want to obtain mystical power so that I can enjoy by showing off and get some fame and some followers and some wealth by attracting people. And I want to be liberated and go to impersonal Brahman because this world is miserable and I'm not happy here. So maybe after going there I'll be happy. So um, this is called Asatrishna. These are all anarthas. What is not an anartha? My Lord, Mama Janmani Janmanishware, Bhavatat Bhaktir Ahitukitwai. Birth after birth, I want to serve you, my Lord. Why? Jivera Sarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas. Because I realize that uh, um, I am your part and parcel. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita that we belong to him. He says, living entities are my superior energy. Aham bija pradapita. He is a seed giving father. So we belong to him. That's the beginning of spiritual life. That I have a relationship with Krishna. And what kind of relationship? Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas. I am servant of Krishna. I am meant to serve Krishna. I don't want, it doesn't matter if I get material pleasure or not. Actually, I don't want it. I don't want bhukti siddhi mukti kami. I don't want recognition. I don't want all the things we saw in Hidra Durbalyam. Um, um, I want to serve you. I want to serve you. I want to assist. I want to assist in your service. I want to come back to Goloka, um, to spiritual world to serve you. When principle is service, when principle is service, I want to develop attraction for you. I want to hear about you, and I want to glorify you. I I just want to serve you in whichever way possible. So these are pure devotional desires. Actually, in the beginning, the faith is impure. Impure faith means we are not practicing Krishna consciousness for the right purpose, but we have hidden motives. And pure faith, at some point of time, by the practice of Krishna consciousness, as we become relatively purified, pure faith arises. Pure faith. Pure faith means I just want to serve Krishna now. Now, these anathas may remain, but that pure faith that I just want to serve Krishna, I don't want anything else. Now, we may still want it in the inner core of our heart, but then it's a training. I don't want it. And we are acting on a platform that I don't want anything but I want to serve Krishna. We are trying. So basically, we are showing to Krishna that, my Lord, I only want you. Uh, when Krishna recognizes us, then success will be yours. If Krishna sees sincerity in you, then the fourth and last anartha is Tattva Vibhrama, illusion about spiritual knowledge, ignorance about one's own identity. So we may know that I am servant of Krishna. I have a relationship with Krishna. Everything in this material world is temporary and it's of no value. Still, my activities are I'm running behind the objects of this material world. I'm very much concerned about material gains and about my material enjoyment. So this is because of ignorance about one's own identity. In a way, I know I am part and parcel of Krishna, but my knowledge is only theoretical because my activities, my desires, shows my realization. What now we have heard Bhagavad Gita, but how much have we realized Bhagavad Gita? One devotee came to Srila Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I can recite entire Bhagavad Gita in 30 minutes. And Prabhupada said, can you live Bhagavad Gita for 30 minutes? So the goal is to live Bhagavad Gita means how much now sometimes we say, Prabhuji, I don't want anything, I only want Krishna. Well, don't speak, show. Krishna sees our Krishna um, um, words anybody can speak. Activities. Okay. Um, what what am I running after? What are my priorities? That decides our faith. What faith I have. It is decided by what is important to me. The person who has pure faith, who has developed a pure faith, you will see his activities. He will get up in the morning, he will chant, he will read, he will associate and respect all the devotees. He would like to serve in the temple. Means that person has developed pure faith. So his goal is Krishna. His goal is Krishna. That pure faith, for some people, it may take lifetimes. For some people, it may be in this life. If pure faith has arisen in the heart of a living entity, if it has arisen in your heart, you should consider that you are very fortunate that you have developed that pure faith. The, the reason we lack pure faith is because of ignorance about ourselves. We know I am a spirit soul, but we have not realized it. We have not realized it. I am still acting on the platform of being the body. So this is ignorance. This is called Tattva Vibhrama. Vibhrama means Brahm. Brahm means I'm an illusion. I'm living in illusion. I'm living a life of illusion. So although I know the tattva, the Jiva tattva and Krishna tattva, but I'm still living in the Brahm, in illusion. And then the position of Supreme Personality of Godhead, ignorance about it, ignorance about Krishna being the Supreme God. I may have heard it theoretically, I may accept it, but I have not developed pure faith in that. I have not developed pure faith that Krishna is all in all and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I still lack that faith. So this is again Anatha. This is called Tattva Vibhrama. I am Brahm. I am under illusion of Krishna Tattva. I am under illusion of Jiva Tattva, of who am I. Then the process of sadhana bhakti and prema bhakti. Ignorance of that. Ignorance of how to make progress. Ignorance about that. Well, how do I get there? And um, when we lack the understanding of how to make spiritual progress, uh, um, it is given in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, the process, but the lack of sadhana, the lack of knowledge about sadhana bhakti is another illusion, tattva vibhrama. And then the factors that are unfavorable for development of Krishna consciousness. um, in other words, um, I don't know what I am doing, if it is favorable to my Krishna consciousness or not. I am lacking the discrimination. That is like the factors which are unfavorable. And I may be doing something thinking that this is Krishna consciousness, but underlying principle is we are cheating ourselves. And in the inner core of my heart, I know that this probably is not Krishna consciousness and it is just my own attachment. I am doing it, but then I want to remain under illusion, thinking that this is Krishna consciousness and this needs to be done. So lack of discrimination of what really is favorable for my Krishna consciousness. This is all Tattva Vibhrama, means there is some illusion that remains in me. Day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour, I am not able to discriminate um, if this is favorable for my advancement Krishna consciousness or not. So this becomes Tattva Vibhrama. So these are the four kind of anarthas. One is ignorance, illusion about Krishna, about Jiva, about sadhana bhakti, how to progress, about what things are unfavorable, ignorance of that. Then offenses against the holy name, committing offenses against the devotees of the Lord, and offending other living entities due to envy or false ego. Any living entity, even an animal, this all also comes under anartha. And then desire for bhukti, sense gratification, mukti, liberation, kami, heavenly pleasure, siddhi, some mystical siddhis. This is also anartha. And then hridaya durbalyam, weakness of the heart, defects of the heart, envy, fault finding, uh, myself being the center, looking for recognition and trying to be the center and trying to be the enjoyer, and everything centered around me first, Krishna second. So these are all called anarthas, and they manifest as lust, anger, envy, greed, pride in different forms. But lust, anger, envy, greed, pride is just an external show. an external act that we act on them, but these are the underlying principle. Because of ignorance of the living entity about Krishna, and because of all these four, as long as these anarthas remain, I mean, speaking for myself, they all four, all in full, I can see present in my own heart. To the extent these reduce in quantity, to that extent we will be able to experience the Son of the Holy Name. We'll be able to experience. If they are sufficiently reduced, then we are progressing. So it's not like black and white. Nama Prad, Nama Bha, Shuddha Nam. It's like gradual progress. And these are the principle of Namabhas. And then there is three types of transcendental knowledge, something we have discussed in Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna speaks about Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya Gyan, and Pariyojana Gyan. Sambandha Gyan is what is my Sambandha? What is my relationship? Who am I? Ke ami? I like this. Sanatan Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ke ami? मैं कौन हूँ? Who am I? And Lord Chaitanya replied, Jivira Sarupa Krishna Nityadas. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are servant of Krishna. We are meant to serve Krishna. So this is called Sambandha Gyan. Essential understanding about the spiritual position of Krishna, who Krishna is, the position of this material world, what this material world is, and the spiritual position of living entity, who I am. So there are three energies. One is called Antaranga Shakti, one is called Bahiranga Shakti, and one is called Tathastha Shakti. These are three energies of Krishna. Antaranga Shakti is spiritual potency. Antaranga, internal potency of the Lord. Haladini Shakti or spiritual potency. Bahiranga Shakti is matter, material word Maya. That is called Bahiranga, external energy of the Lord. And Tathastha Shakti is in middle. So the living entities are Tathastha Shakti. Means we have a free will, we have a choice. What choice we have? Either I can absorb myself in the internal energy of Krishna by being sincere in my hearing, chanting, and other processes of devotional service, or I can be engaged in dis- towards material desires. So the living entity is called Tathashta, means he can either be under Maya Shakti or he can either be under Antaranga, spiritual potency. That choice we have, and that's why we are called Tathashta. Sometime we are fighting with Maya and sometime we are within Krishna. So this is called Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha means what Maya is, understanding that what Maya is, how it is capturing me, what is really important in life, what is really the truth, what is really the eternal, and what is temporary. Understanding that, analyzing that through, that's why the reading of Bhagavad Gita should not be stopped. Because Krishna says material world is dukhalyam ashashvatam, but we may not be convinced and we are still running behind material objects towards our enjoyment. So this is the lack of Sambandha means what is Maya, what is material world, who I am, and who is Krishna. And once we have clarity of this, then we have Sambandha and then there is Abhideya Gyan. Abhideya Gyan means, well, I am engrossed. I have these four anarthas. Now, how do I get to Krishna? I see Krishna, I see myself, I see Maya. How do I get there? So, what is the process? Chant 16 rounds, follow four regulated principles. So, this is called Abhideya Gyan. Hearing about Krishna, associating with devotees, serving in a temple, um, offering food to Krishna. This is all Abhideya Gyan. And then Prayojana Gyan. This is very important. What is my goal? Why I am practicing Krishna consciousness? Some people are practicing Krishna consciousness, but they don't know why should I chant. They don't know. They may think, well, if I chant, some good things will happen in my life, or I will feel little peace in my life, so that I can live in this material world peacefully. Because material world is so much anxiety, so I feel little peace. Well, that is good. You will get some peace, but then what's the goal? Is the goal to get peace? Why am I doing what am I doing? Why I'm practicing Krishna? So goal should be clear. Goal is to reawaken our loving relationship with Krishna. We have that loving relationship. Uh, we have a loving relationship with Krishna, and only in that loving relationship with Krishna can we be satisfied. Can we be satisfied? And when we forget that relationship, then we try to find some satisfaction through some other relationship in this world. So goal should be clear also, is pariyojana. So these are three kind of transcendental knowledge. One is relationship, one is the process, and one is the goal. The goal, why, is reawaken relationship with Krishna. Shavanadi Shuddha Chitti Koroyodoy. Shavanadi means by hearing about Krishna. Shuddha Chitte, the heart becomes purified. Koroy Udoy, and the love that we have toward Krishna is awakened. Udoy. Udoy means it's awakened. What is the effect of Namabhas? Now, Namabhas itself is very beneficial. In Namabhas stage, the faith becomes very strong. Namabhas means these anathas remain. I don't want to act on it. I am working on it. And once in a while, I get some glimpse of Krishna. Not that I see Krishna, but I get some conviction in my heart that actually Krishna becomes a reality, and I, as a servant of Krishna, becomes a reality, and desire to attain Krishna becomes strengthened. So the faith increases. One on Namabhas. Extension of sinful reaction. We saw Ajamil chanted name Narayana. It was Namabhas, and he could free himself from all. He committed so many sins. What all sins he committed? Left his wife, left his parents. He robbed, married to the prostitute, illegal relationship. He robbed and theft to please that prostitute, and he tortured so many living entities, and he performed in illicit relationships and so many sinful activities. But in the end, he didn't had to suffer because he chanted name of Narayana. Now, this holy name can free us from suffering. We don't have to suffer, but it will not give us love, pure love. Pure love is awakened only when we are free from anathas. Liberation from the effects of Kali Yuga. What are the effects of Kali Yuga? Quarrel and hypocrisy. Um, Even though these anarthas may remain, we will become less quarrelsome, and we will not be hypocrite. Hypocrite means I may have a personal life, a secretive bad habits, and I show myself as somebody else than who I really am. This is hypocrisy. But when we come and when we have awakened little faith in Krishna and get some glimpse of Krishna, the heart start to becomes more and more pure. Although these anarthas still remain relatively smaller quantity, but the Kali Yuga means small things one becomes quarrelsome. That will go away, and the life externally will become pure. Whether you see the life of a devotee any time of a day, morning, evening, afternoon, night, early morning, whatever time, you will see him engaging in some form of Krishna conscious activity. You will see him sincere. You will not see him cultivating habits not favorable for his Krishna consciousness. So this is liberation from the effect of Kali Yuga. Then disappearance of fear and advent of peace. One will feel very happy. Although anathas remain, one will still be peaceful, and fear will go away. Fear will go away, and the goal is fixed, and the faith is strong, and one is rushing forward towards the path. Protection from the influence of ghosts and adverse planets. Adverse planets, uh, this doesn't make any difference. This is called, this astrology doesn't make any difference. It doesn't matter what our chart says. um, Rahu, Ketu, and so many things have so many adverse effects on us on day-to-day life, and they affect our mind, and they have so many effects on us. But as our faith in Krishna strengthens, they have no effect on us anymore. That's why Prabhupada said that For a devotee, the line changes. So one is not very much concerned what my astrological chart says. Um, then attaining the four goals of life. Um, um, the four purusharthas. Um, one gets basically everything materially needed for one's sustenance. Um, they are purusharthas. Um, um, then there is spiritual bliss, and then you feel some spiritual pleasure because of the stage of Namabhasa. Okay. Overcoming the stage of Namabhas means going to Shuddhana. As long as one is chanting Namabhas, he can even attain liberation. But prema, love of God, remains unattainable. Ignorance and anarthas have to be overcome to attain love of God. Prema, we will attain prema, which is the goal, only after all this ignorance and this anartha, we overcome them. There is no shortcut. Um, the chanting of the holy name itself will purify our heart. Sincerity, dedication towards Krishna consciousness. Well, itself. Now, different people take different times. Actually, um, as we are practicing Krishna consciousness, as we are associating with devotees, the faith will grow. It will grow more. It will grow more. We are developing some sukriti. Just by pleasing devotees, by hearing Bhagavad Gita, we are progressing. At some point of time, when we have developed enough sukriti means bhakti credits, because of hearing, pleasing devotees, chanting one or two rounds here and there once in a while. Once we have developed enough sukriti, then more mercy will come. When more mercy comes, we will be able to chant more, and we'll be able to chant with dedication. If we are not able to do it, it's because we have not attained sufficient faith of Krishna. We have not attained sufficient mercy. We don't have sufficient sukriti to progress. That kind of mercy, we have not become the recipient of that. But just by associating, by reading, by appreciating, by being grateful for the knowledge we have received, by eating prasad, by doing little service here and there, we are acquiring more spiritual credit. So you will see over period of time, devotees become more and more sincere. Um, but the more you do, the more you attain a higher qualification to do even more. And only after removal of these anarthas will we come to the stage of um, um, Shuddhana. Now this is very important, is chanting Panchatattva mantra. This mantra is generally beneficial because the holy name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu, Sri Gadadhar Prabhu, Shivas Thakur, and all the devotees of the Lord immediately purify and spiritually elevate the chanter. Before you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, chant this mantra: Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Shri Prabhupada used to say that because when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, there are many offenses that knowingly, unknowingly we commit. But when we chant this Panchatattva mantra, uh, um, they free us from those offenses. And you will find it easier to absorb yourself if you chant this mantra. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, you will be able to receive the grace of Krishna very, very easily. So chanting Panchatattva Maha Mantra is a very good practice before chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Chanting at all times. We are coming to the end of the discussion. Uh, Chanting at all times. Whenever you get, a devotee does not waste time. If you get some free time, take your beats and chant some more. That's a sign of sincerity. If you, the sign that you are making progress is when you get some free time, you want to engage in a Krishna conscious activity. You may want to take Bhagavad Gita and read, you may want to take the beats and chant some more rounds, or you may want to hear a lecture on YouTube or ISKCON Desire Tree. So this is a sign that you want to engage your time in Krishna consciousness. So that is called chanting at all times. Chanting in the morning is the best. It's the best. The time shortly before sunrise, called Brahma Muhurat, is the best time for chanting. Basically, if you get up 4:35, whenever you get up, the first thing if you do is chant the holy names. You will find it much easier to absorb in the holy name. Chanting is at least 16 rounds is recommended. At least 16 rounds. If you're not able to do that, gradually increase. Don't become complacent. Complacent means that's what I can do. Don't spend, don't stay at one number for a long time, because complacency will creep in. Means you will think that I cannot do more. That's all I can do. But don't wait. Don't spend more than a month on a particular number. The reason we say a month or two, so that you stabilize yourself. Chanting 2 rounds, continue to do that, to continue 2 rounds for 1 month, 2 months. If you think it's difficult to chant 2 rounds, continue one more month. If you think chanting 2 rounds is very easy for me, then you should go to 4 rounds. If you remain at 2 rounds, you will lose taste in chanting, because Krishna is indicating you to progress, and uh, keep progressing. One time, one devotee asked like Prabhupada, how can I develop taste in chanting? And Prabhupada said, focus on quantity, quality will come. Some people say that I am chanting 1 round, I don't want to chant more because I want to chant very attentively. That will never happen, because the reason we are not able to chant attentively is because we have anathas. If you think anathas will go away by chanting 1 round, that would have been so easy. So the chanting itself will remove anarthas. The more we chant, the sooner we become purified. In the end, it you may think in a way that I need to chant for one time. When devotee asked Prabhupada, how long does it take to become a pure devotee? And Prabhupada said around 40 years. Prabhupada said, if you are sincere, around 40 years. Prabhupada said that. So sometime I think from that perspective, well, let me chant more, then maybe sooner I will attain more purified state. So quality will follow the quantity. You chant more, and um, our our absorption in chanting is not dependent upon uh, our controlling our mind, because the mind is Krishna's energy. You may try your level best to control your mind, and you will see that you fail. um, by our mechanical process, we cannot develop a spiritual potency in our heart. We cannot get nourishment in our heart unless Krishna gives it. You may be the best focused mind in the world, and every mantra you may focus, but you may not get a spiritual nourishment in your heart. They are independent things. Um, that happens when Krishna is pleased, and as over a period of time Anatha goes away, to that extent we can experience spiritual nourishment. Chanting loudly enough to hear oneself. When you chant loud enough, it may be like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Maybe nobody else knows. Haridas Thakur says that chanting loud is 1000 times more effective than chanting in the mind. And you may experience it, uh, that when you chant loud, like, now it depends. See, um, if you chant, sub, um, if Krishna is not pleased with us, maybe because of offenses or something, whether you chant in the mind or you chant loudly, you will not feel spiritual potency. You will not feel spiritual nourishment in your heart. But if you're doing good, if you are if you are humble, tolerant, and then if you chant, then you will see, you will be able to focus both, whether you chant in mind or you chant loud. But you will see that you will receive 1000 times more nourishment uh, uh, if you chant loud. Some devotees chant on the top of their lungs, and some people chant like I chant like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So just loud enough so I can hear. That way I don't disturb anybody else who is chanting next to me also. Chanting should be accompanied by regulative principles, means follow the regulative principles, which is no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication. So follow those principles, then chanting will become more effective. So chanting should be accompanied by regulative principles. Chanting in front of tulsi is good. Serving tulsi is very nice. If you have a tulsi plant, you can water her just 3 drops. Don't water her much. If you don't have tulsi plant, you can contact Sunil Prabhu, Mahipal Prabhu, and they can help arrange a tulsi plant for you. Tulsi is a pure devotee of Krishna, and uh, Tulsi has the spiritual potency. That's why we wear Tulsi beads in our neck. We chant with Tulsi mala. So Tulsi has a lot of significance. Tulsi is everywhere in our life. Um, we worship Tulsi morning and evening. Um, so if you have Tulsi and if you chant in front of Tulsi, it will be more beneficial. If you see in all the temples around the world, we chant in temple hall, and in the center of the temple hall there is Tulsi always, and then we chant somewhere in temple hall. So Tulsi is very nice. Then weeding in the garden of chanting. Weeding means you are chanting, you want to make progress. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu compared that when we hear from pure devotees, a seed of devotion is installed in our heart. That may be even Srila Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita. We hear from Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita and we come to know that actually things in this material world is temporary, and I am part and parcel of Krishna, Krishna's Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I have a loving relationship with Krishna. So this is called seed of devotion. Seed means now I have come to a particular understanding. So this is called seed. It's called Bhakti Lata Beej. Beej means seed. And then you water the seed. Once you water the seed will develop into a small creeper. Like, 2, 3 leaves will come, a small creeper. So this watering is compared to hearing and chanting. Means, okay, we have heard, I'm partial of Krishna, part and parcel. I am eternal, Krishna is eternal, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But just knowing this is not enough. Now I want to grow in my devotion. Right now there is only a seed. If you don't water the seed, what happens? The seed will die out. The seed will not grow until you water the seed. So you water the seed, and this is example given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, by hearing and chanting. You hear about Krishna, like that's why we weekly hear about Krishna, and maybe some of you daily. That very nice if you daily hear about Krishna, you read Bhagavad Gita. So we are nurturing our seed. We are letting the seed grow. Um, and then you water some more, you hear chant more, and the seed will further grow. But what happens as you water as you water, some weeds will also grow. Those who are into gardening, when we water, the plant grows, but the weeds surrounding also grows. So weeding in the garden of chanting means we have to remove those weeds, because if you don't remove those weeds, then those weeds will take the water and the weeds will grow further. And if the weeds keeps on growing, then they will choke the nourishment of the bhakti lata creeper, and the bhakti may die out. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that a devotee is like a gardener. He should be careful that when the weeds come out in the process of making spiritual advancement, when the weeds come out, one should be careful to remove those weeds. So what are those weeds? These are given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Those weeds, Nishiddhachar. Nishiddhachar means actions that are prohibited in the Shastras. Don't engage in activities that are detrimental for your Krishna consciousness. I really desire that all the devotees in this group become sincere. Become sincere. Make spiritual progress. Why? For your own benefit. You will greatly be benefited by it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for all of you to become sincere, to grow. What is my pleasure? My pleasure is to see all of you happy in Krishna consciousness, is to see you all receiving Krishna's mercy, you all experiencing spiritual bliss, you are becoming happy in your life, keeping Krishna in the center. I'm waiting for that day. um, so these things, avoiding these things will help you grow faster, because they are like the weeds. One is nishiddhachar. Don't engage in activities that are prohibited in the shastras. We Nobody needs to tell us. The Lord in our heart tells us this is not a right thing to do. He tells us. You will not be able to get the strength to not engage in sinful activities. Why? Because of Frida Durbalyam. Our heart is very weak. We are very weak. Why we are weak? Because of sense gratification. When we engage in sense gratification, we become weak, and the mind becomes very strong. Means we become the servant of the mind. In a way, whatever mind says, we become helpless but to fulfill the demand of the mind. And Krishna says, when the mind is uncontrolled, it's our greatest enemy. So mind kinds of take charge of our life, and mind makes us run behind different objects of sense gratification not favorable for our Krishna consciousness. So just by saying, just by now, many of you may feel, we may relate. I mean, Paramatma helps us to relate. We know that, okay, these are certain activities not good for me. But then we feel that I don't have strength. Even though I may decide today, I will not engage in any sinful activities. Maya is very powerful. Maya is very powerful. And when the time comes, when mind demands, we will feel ourselves completely helpless, but to fulfill the demands of the mind. So this requires strength. We need we need spiritual strength. Prabhupada said we need spiritual strength. Um, this strength comes from our sadhana. Our sadhana. As you chant, first we need to develop determination. See, without determination, we cannot make progress in our spiritual life. We need determination. But we lack determination. That's why we engage in activities not favorable, even though we may know this is not the right thing to do. I'm running behind those things because I lack determination. So how do I strengthen my determination? Well, you focus on developing determination in your Krishna consciousness, and you will see, you will gain the strength and you will become determined in everything else in your life. Like, you first try to focus, be determined on your sadhana. I will read at least this much time, I will chant at least these many rounds. um, don't just try to do that, just try to do that over a period of time, and be determined in doing that. Then you will gain the strength. Once you gain strength, you will be naturally be able to overcome all the other prohibitions. All the other prohibitions, it's a long way to go. um, um, but there is no substitute for purity. We have to become pure. Then only we'll be able to access the inner deep core of Krishna consciousness. Um, uh, Kutinati. Kutinati is duplicity. Again, if we don't want to be duplicitous, we need strength. Duplicitous means inside somebody else, outside somebody else. Lack of simplicity is duplicity. Diplomacy means we want to get things done what we want to do, but we say something to convince others in according to their language. We try to convince others, but we have our hidden motive. We are not simple, we are not straightforward. This is what I want, this is important for me, that's why I want to do it. But we are manipulative. We try to manipulate in a way that we want to get things done in my own way, and the way we say, the way we present is different from what we really want. Our intentions and words don't match. This duplicity is not very favorable. Srila Prabhupada says one of the Vaishnava quality is simplicity. Simplicity means be simple, means be straightforward in your dealings. This is another weed. Then Jiva Himsa means killing animals, envying others. When we envy others, it's a himsa. We are causing distress. When we don't like somebody, Prabhupada said that's envy. And if you don't like somebody, if you find fault in somebody, you are causing them distress. They will be distressed. And a devotee does not want to see anybody in distress. When he sees somebody is in distress, a devotee naturally has a soft heart, his heart pains. And then he prays to Krishna, my Lord, please help this devotee, help this person. We don't want to cause distress to anyone. But in a conditioned state, when we see somebody else in distress, it gives us so much joy that, oh, this person is struggling. Ha ha, I'm so happy. So imagine how can Krishna be pleased with us when we are deriving joy by seeing somebody else's distress, so one should develop that jiva himsa, is not envying. My spiritual master says Vaishnava means no envy. When I hear that, I become depressed and I feel like, oh no, when will I become a Vaishnava? When um, um, one devotee told my spiritual master, Maharaj, you are a pure devotee. And Maharaj said, my spiritual master, and he said, I'm trying to become a devotee. I'm trying, because the word devotee is a very high category. Of course, this is his humility. He is a pure devotee, but nonetheless, he is setting an example. Uh, then stopping preaching. If you please share this message, you will not be able to share the message unless you have developed faith. So first, Mahaprabhu says, Aswadan. First you taste it. First you drink it, piba, and then rasayana, you taste it. And if you become happy, then share with others. Please share this message with others. If you think your life is benefiting positively by Krishna consciousness, if you think positive things are happening in your life, please share with others. Please make an endeavor. It's a great service to Krishna. Puja means striving for popularity and admiration. I want to become famous. This is a very deep disease. Is, see what happens if you nicely hear and if you nicely chant the holy names very sincerely and engage in Krishna conscious activities, you will develop some spiritual strength. And then if you want to show off your sadhana, if you want to show off your bhakti, and if you want to gain some popularity by showing off how sincere you are, then that becomes a weed. This weed is not there. This weed is arising from bhakti itself. So bhakti itself can give rise to anarthas. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains some anarthas are from previous life, from karma, and some anarthas arise from bhakti. And one of the anartha that arise from bhakti is when we want to show off our sadhana. When we want to show off our bhakti. Bhakti is meant to be hidden in our heart. In fact, if you are a devotee, when he sees that, well, if I show off my devotion, then others will glorify me. So let me not show off. A devotee runs away from recognition. Uh, then you see what is the goal. Goal is external. Goal is internal. If your goal is external, you will be miserable. But if your goal is internal, that you want to become full within yourself, you want to become filled within yourself, then keep it hidden in your heart. And if you do that, Krishna will give you more. Krishna gives those people more devotion, those who keep it hidden in their heart. Don't try to show off. So this is called, why we show off? Puja and pratishta. Pratishta means I want to become important. Why? Because now I'm gaining something, so I'm better than others. Others don't have, I'm gaining it. So let me try to show them, so that they will glorify me. Let me try to impress upon them. Then you lose it. A devotee keeps his devotion secret in his heart, and nobody else comes to know. So these are weeding in the garden, which we should try. Living with the holy name, becoming a servant of the holy name. What does it mean to become the servant of the holy name? Use your tongue to chant the names of Krishna and propagate the names all over the world. See, you will not be willing to propagate. You cannot tell anyone to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra unless you have experienced it. How can you tell somebody? Because we ourselves have not developed faith. Then how can we serve the holy name? How can we become the servant of the holy name? Taste it. Don't, if you taste it, if you don't feel anything, don't become discouraged. Don't become discouraged. Know that, well, let me, it is the right thing to do. The holy name is all pure. Krishna is all pure. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukto Abhinna Nama Namitvam. So the name of Krishna and Krishna is non-different. I am personally associating with Krishna by chanting name of Krishna. This is direct association. There is no other way of direct association with Krishna when I am chanting name of Krishna. So although I may be very impure, by the contact of Krishna, because Krishna is all pure, I'll become purified. As I become purified, I will become absorbed. So first you experience the holy name. Once you taste it yourself, you will naturally propagate it. But till you taste it, you will not be able to propagate it. Like, I have shared this example, not sure if I share this example here. I used to, in my childhood, I used to watch television, and there was this ad of Fair and Lovely. I mean, I don't like to share these things, but it relates. So if you have some red marks, some pimples in your face, you apply Fair and Lovely, and the pimple will go away. And when you see the ad, then you buy. If you have a pimple in your face, you buy Fair and Lovely and you apply it on your face. Once you apply it on your face, you see the pimple goes away. And when it goes away, you tell your friends who has a pimple in his face, you say, you should buy Fair and Lovely, it will help you. So why you are telling others to buy Fair and Lovely? Not because you have seen in the ad, but because you have applied it yourself and it worked for you. So the first step of faith is, if somebody is telling to chant the holy name of Krishna sincerely, means there is something there. Otherwise, thousands and thousands of people are not lying. The scriptures are not lying. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not lying. Srila Prabhupada is not lying. Krishna is not an imagination. If it was, we cannot fake for a long time. You can fake for a day or two or a month or two, but you must be really getting something out there. So that's like an advertisement. By seeing others' faith, that okay, there is something. Otherwise, why is somebody Haridas Thakur would chant 192 rounds? How could he do that? If he's not getting anything, he can do a day or two. How could he do every day? Means he must really be so much absorbed. Otherwise, how can he do that? So first by यही रखा था बस, बड़ा डिब्बा है. So first is advertisement, by seeing others, by seeing the scriptures. Shrimad Bhagavatam, essence of Shrimad Bhagavatam is chanting the holy names of Krishna. And by seeing that, we know, well, there is something there. I may not be seeing it. Now taste it, apply that cream on your tongue. Let Krishna dance and wait for experience to come. And once you get it, then you will naturally share. And once you share the holy name of Krishna with others, you will get Krishna even deeper. See, the path is very simple. The path is very simple. We all know what needs to be done, but not what needs to be avoided. Now there is just a lack of determination to different level, to different level. My humble request, please try to do it. It's for your benefit. You may think, why week after week I say the same thing? Because I've seen little value in that. I mean, my life is centered around, this is the only thing I value in my life, is the holy name of Krishna. And not only me, all the devotees who have some experience, they know how valuable. Otherwise, why would somebody get up early in the morning and so dedicatedly chant the holy names of Krishna? There must be something there. The potency is not in us. The potency is in the holy name. Holy name is Krishna. And if you do it, if you propagate it, if you become sincere, please take the steps. Please take the steps. Out of gratitude, out of whatever reason, please take the steps. Walk that route. See what happens. To remember the holy name of Krishna at the time of death, we must practice to call the holy name of Krishna. Krishna says, um, uh, whatever you remember at the time of death, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajyate ante kalevaram, tam tamvati kauntya sada tad bhava bhavita. Whatever you remember at the time of death, you will attain that. Maharaj Bharat remembered the deer. So whatever the attachments we are cultivating, that will decide our next life. But if we can develop attachment towards the holy name of Krishna, And if you can remember Krishna, the holy name of Krishna will give you attraction to Krishna. Once you are attracted to Krishna, only then you will be able to give up all other attractions in this life. And the attraction to Krishna will develop through the names of Krishna. So it's very clear. Techniques of chanting, japa mala and beat back. Some people use counters, not recommended. Chant on beats. Chant on beats. Bodily posture, time and place and time is important. As much as possible, chant in the same place in your home and chant at the same time in your home. Then the mind will be trained. If you are chanting, say 5 a.m. in the morning, every day chant at 5 a.m. and every day chant at the same place. If you say I will chant maybe after 2 hours, I will chant maybe in the evening, then it never gets done. So be determined to chant at the same time every day. Best is Brahm Muhurat. Now exceptions are there, but maybe 90% of the cases chant at the same time at the same place. Bodily posture, keep your keep your posture erect. If you chant like Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram, then you may fall asleep, or you may like sleeping and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Then you may again not be attentive. But if you sit straight, especially head raised, Hare Krishna, then I heard and I've experienced some chakras in the body they open if your posture is erect. What you can do is, what I have seen is, keep a pillow and sit on a pillow, like little bit raised platform, little bit. That helps the torso posture of the body, the front portion of the body to be erect. So that posture will help you. And proper pronunciation. Proper pronunciation means complete the mantra. Some people say like when they go very fast, they go like Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Krishna Krishna Ram Ram. So the mantra is not there. When we cut the mantra, we are like, the example is given like we are killing Krishna. I mean, such severe example is given. In other words, train yourself. Don't focus on the speed, but train yourself to finish the mantra. And if you do it, speed will come. Like I usually take like 6 minutes max to complete one round, usually 6 minutes. So I chant like Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. But in the beginning, when I used to chant, I used to take 10 minutes for almost like 3 4 years. In the beginning, I used to finish 16 rounds in 2 hour 40 minutes in my beginning days. So uh, and then slowly I find myself that I am more absorbed if I chant fast. If I chant fast, my spiritual master says if you chant too slow, then mind will have lot of space to go here and there. And if you chant too fast, then you may eat the mantra. So pronunciation is also important. So these things will help you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instruction. This is Lord Chaitanya chanting the holy names of Krishna. Trinadapi sunichina taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Okay, maybe let me finish this last thing. Trinadapi sunichina means uh, this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of humility. Trinadapi sunichena, uh, one who thinks himself lower than the grass, means taking a humble position, that begging for mercy, my Lord, please help me. If you have that mood while chanting the holy name, you are saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And if you are praying, oh Lord Krishna, please help me to make progress. Please, La Prabhupada said, very important. Prabhupada said, you should pray, my Lord, please engage me in your service. Oh Krishna, oh Radha, please engage me in your service. Hare means Radharani. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna means O Radha Krishna, O Radha, O Krishna, Hare Krishna. In a mood of humility means begging for mercy. A Vaishnav by profession is a beggar. The profession of a Vaishnava is a beggar. He is begging to Krishna for help. So that is a sign of humility, that I am dependent on Krishna. And that will help you to absorb yourself. You will see, especially when you are very distressed. When you're very distressed, you feel very low. And then you take complete shelter of Krishna and you feel very high in your chanting. Why? Because you are really taking shelter of Krishna, because you are really in problem. So you take deeper shelter of Krishna. So likewise, if we can develop that mood all the time, that mood of humility, is my Lord, please help me, that will help. Then Trinadapi Sunichena is um, humbler than a blade of grass. Taro Riva Sahishna is more tolerant. uh, More tolerant. These are little higher principles. um, Amanina Manadena. Amanina means not expecting respect for oneself. We saw that this is desire for recognition is Hriday Durbalya. Not respecting, not expecting respect for oneself. This is called Amanina. And Manadena. Manadena is giving respect to others. Give respect to all living entities. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Kirtaniya Sadahari. Sada means always. In this way, you can chant the holy names of Krishna. Why we are not able to chant the holy name of Krishna? Because we lack these four principles. We miss on these four principles. We may not respect others. Then we break the principle. Then chanting will become difficult. Then we'll not be able to chant if we don't properly respect others. Or we may expect respect from others. Then again, we'll not be able to chant. If I want everybody to respect me, then again, we'll not be able to chant. Or if we become proud, again we'll not be able to chant, and we'll make mistakes also, because we miss the principle of Trinada Pisulichina. And if we react, if we become angry, and if somebody says and we criticize and we raise our voice, or we are not able to tolerate, and we are not able to see everything as Krishna's arrangement, we are not able to maintain our consciousness in difficult situations, then we miss the principle of Tarodiva Sahishnuna, becoming tolerant in a tree. So because we lack these principles, chanting of the holy name of Krishna becomes difficult for us. So there are only 8 instructions given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in this particular verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains how to always chant the holy name of Krishna. Very important principle. Okay, that's all. And would anybody like to ask anything? Were you there? Were you listening? Were you able to understand?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Jyoti here.
Jyoti Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, for the anarthas, you have explained that the first anartha is ignorance, okay? Just to observe myself actually in which mode I am right now, how should I do that? I mean, that awareness in which mode right now I am.
You
How
mean
am I gonna?
mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, like that?
Yeah, and also the anarthas to purify the mind. That is the first anartha you have mentioned, right? In order to have that awareness that I am not being in that state, how am I gonna know that? Um, Especially ignorance.
Well, ignorance, what I mentioned is
Hmm.
when we are engaging in activities not conducive to Krishna consciousness, it's a sign of ignorance.
Okay.
When we forget um, what's my goal and who am I and who is Krishna, what my relationship, then we act in a temporary relationship. Then we
Okay.
act in a way unrelated to Krishna. So these are signs of ignorance. Uh, um, some at some point of time we may be in a perfect knowledge. At other point of time, our activities may not be in perfect knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And um, well, this is for our understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as I know you, you are doing well. You're doing very
Okay.
well. If you just continue your chanting of holy names and association and being respectful to all the Vaishnavas
Mm-hmm.
and performing your duty sincerely, over a period of time, all these obstacles, whatever they may exist, will be removed.
Okay, Prabhuji.
You're doing well. You don't need to worry.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. More questions? Was everyone there?
So only one question:
Yes, my bad, Prabhu.
how to come out of the complacency? As you mentioned that sometimes when we are really in like troublesome situations or something, there is a high chance that we take shelter of the holy name, like with full humility.
Mhm.
But once we come out of that and day-to-day situation is cool and calm, and that doesn't happen. I go back to the complacent mode. Yes, I'm chanting, but not with so much enthusiasm. Let's say if I come to a situation where I might die. Now that intense feeling might be different compared to what my day-to-day chanting is. So how to come out of the complacency that I am now good?
Mhm. 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 Well, Prabhuji, I would see complacency as uh, not trying to extend myself or not being so eager to experience the holy name. If you are very desperate, if you are very desperate to every day receive spiritual nourishment, if everything you do during the day, if you are conscious of how will it affect my chanting, okay, I am engaging in some activity. I spoke about some devotee. I may not be able to chant properly tomorrow, or I perform this thing and that is not conducive. I will have a reaction tomorrow. So if you live your life in a way that you live your life in a way that you want to develop a deeper relationship with holy name, so that holy name, just that desire itself to very sincerely chant the holy name will bring you out of complacency. Complacency in general is, well, that's all I can do. Well, I am doing this much Krishna consciousness, and okay, I need some time for this, I need some time for that. In a way, it's true. um, when we are, say, attacked by some anarthas, we take shelter of Krishna. Those phases will not be there all the time. It's a fact, it won't be there. um, but if you are just able to absorb yourself in the holy name, and if your life is consciously centered around good chanting, I would say that's being in a good position. Prabhuji, does that satisfy?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Srinivas Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, you mentioned chanting, reading, and listening. Which one Krishna likes more?
All of them.
Okay.
All of them. Maintain a balance.
Okay.
Maintain a balance. Hear about Krishna, read about Krishna, and chant the holy names. If say hearing, you can handle with some other activities also. Like while you are driving, these days if you are not driving, if you are doing some activities that does not require much attention, you can play a lecture. So hearing on regular basis will really help, and dedicate some time and systematically study Sri Prabhupada books. Start with Bhagavad Gita, maybe say spend 10-15 minutes a day. Don't get deviated by different books and different topics, but take a book, spend 10-15 minutes every day. After 4-5 months you will see, okay, Bhagavad Gita is over. Then take Bhagavatam and systematically progress. So every day read. If not every day, if you miss a day, that's all right, but very very regularly, possibly every day read. Fix certain time in your life, at least half an hour or maybe 15 minutes, based on whatever your schedule allows you. Read every day. Read every day. Hearing you can do mix with some other activities, and possibly chant 16 rounds, possibly in the morning. This, if you are doing it, you are in a good position.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank
I
you.
have, it's not a question. I just want to ask you. I know last week I missed the class, but how was your trip, Prabhu? You went to India, Vrindavan. Prabhu.
Yeah, by Krishna's mercy, everything went well. And yeah, by all of your mercy, it was good. That's all I can say. Is it all right?
Uh, Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank
I just want to know like how you do.
you. Yeah.
Because of the COVID situation, traveling, people are saying so much back in India also, please. So how all went, I want to know, like,
Well, I kind of that was, yeah, those things did not concern me in that trip. Mainly Dham. Yeah. So everything went well.
thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you. Tushar Prabhu, you had some question?
Prabhu, I don't have any question, but I just want to request you that sometimes if you can explain how Tulsi Mata is important and is mentioned in all the scriptures, and how, so if you can explain something more about it, that will be helpful.
Tulsi Devi. Okay, maybe one of the future discussion we can focus on Tulsi Devi. We can discuss on the glories of Tulsi Devi. Yes, Prabhu, we can do that.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think we'll end here. Ravinder Prabhu, Radha Mataji, Kundan Prabhu, are you all doing well?
I'm good, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Kundan
Prabhu.
Prabhu,
I'm good, Prabhuji.
Ravindra Prabhu, thank you. Kundan Prabhu,
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji, we are good. Thank you.
thank you. Just wanted to hear all of your voice. It's been almost 1.5 months. And Suresh Prabhu, you are there?
Yeah, Prabhu, we are driving, Prabhu, so that's the reason I'm just listening.
Okay, very nice. You are doing well? You and Padma Mataji, everything, health-wise, everything?
Yeah, we are doing well, Prabhu.
Okay. So, I guess so we will end here. My obeisances to all of you. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhaya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavendra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.